my droppers for when I was fishing high in the water. So the FAB I've been using quite a lot this year is tied with this Ecstasy. So it's really soft, and the good thing about this is it doesn't lose any colour at all. So this one is kind of a candy, I suppose, or tequila. It's a pink and a chartreuse colour. When it gets wet in the water, it just looks absolutely amazing. So I use this a lot, wash and lining with nymphs, things like that.
It pushes all over the water as well, Tom.
Yeah, it does. It's really good. So I'll just swap back to this fluoro sort of orange thread. You can use just a white thread with it. It's all going so well. Changed it twice, it's come straight through, first time. Right, so there they are. So these are just some foam cylinders I've cut out with the Granville's cutters or the Uphaven cutters. These I think are the 4mm ones. You can go with the 5, just depends how much you want it to float. I quite like the 4 because it does slowly descend. The 5 really do hold up there for a long time. So with these, you just there's various different ways of tying them on. You can cut them in half, offer it up, tie the half on. I tend to just cut them in half like that. Yeah, cut them in half, and then from there, what I do is I just cut a 45-degree angle in to give myself a thinner point to tie in. So you end up with sort of like that. That's going to go in the hook and get tied back. So this one is a size 8 short shank special. Again, barbless one from Fario. So just run a base of thread on down towards the back of the hook. Now I've got a vise with really good grip. I've always ever wanted to do that. When I watched Dave McPhail and he snaps his thread off, when I used to try out my old vise, the hooks used to just go flying all over or bend. And I thought, when I got a new vise, I can't wait to try it. And I tried it the first time. I was like, oh, it was a good investment. So
it's not so easy with the UTC though.
No, it does do it though. Does do it. I have got some UTC. I might try one later.
I saw a film today from David McPhail that's been put on today. As a youth.
He's some boy. He is some boy.
And he was tying in them days. He tied 5 flies, 35-minute film. Oof. And he was using a Dyna King, just the straight stem.
They're a good hook hold as well though. So once I've cut it, just run it up towards the eye, and then once it's caught in, you just want to pull the foam post back so you can get it really nice and sort of tight and tied in. Go back to sort of where the barb would be, and then just run over the foam and sort of catch it in. So you can see I've got quite a big post there. What I'll do is I'll trim it after I've tied it. I'll trim it and sort of split it all up. So tell you what, I'll put all this marabou away, stop it flying all over the shop while I'm tying.
Why did they put the split in?
They spin. If you don't put the split in, they spin really badly. They spin your cast up.
Yeah.
So if you were going to fish a FAB on a washing line and you were going to fish the FAB completely static, you can leave them whole, because what they do is as they fall in and descending, the droppers kind of make them kind of fall and float a little bit like that. But if you were to pull it in anyway, it would just go, and then you get loads of dropper twists, and it would frustrate the living daylights out of you if you're anything like me. So I think this is it all one piece? No? Do I dare? I'm going to not dare. I'm going to cut myself another length of it off. So it is a Fritz. So as you can see, the fibres do kind of fold back one way. You can see they're all kind of facing back towards the back. So that's sort of the way I want to tie it in. So with like a normal Fritz, what I'm going to do is just expose the core. So pull all that sort of bit of fluff off and expose the braided core on there. And then just catch it in and run it up to about halfway, and that's where we're going to change the colour. So again, as you're going, just wrap it round. What we want to do is let the Fritz, the egg yarn Fritz rotate as we're tying, and just stroke the fibres back, nice touch and turns, and just let it all sweep back. If it's not doing it, unwrap a turn, make it twist the right way. It's pretty good stuff to work with, to be honest. That one's not going to want to do it, so a bit of moisture on the fingers. So that's about halfway. So I'm going to bring that thing Fritz to the side and work my thread through it. Just one turn just to hold it in place. Trim the Fritz, and what I'm going to do is hold the Fritz with my fingers again and pull all the Fritz away. It's a bit more difficult with the egg yarn because you also end up pulling a bit of the other Fritz away. But pull the Fritz away so you're exposing that core. You can just see it hanging there. So I've exposed the core there, and that's the bit that I'm going to tie in 3 good turns, nice and tight, and I can trim it away. And the reason I do that is a lot of the time when you're tying your tequilas and your two-tone variants, if you just tied the Fritz in and left it there, you'd get a really big bulk. When you're in with the other colour and you're trying to wrap over the top, you have a big bulbous bit and your Fritz just always want to slide off, and that means that you can't quite keep the Fritz under control. It loses that twist, etc, etc. Right, I'm going to commit to this bit. I reckon it's long enough. So on this bit here, you'll see that it's got a bit of an awkward twist in it. So about there, it changes the direction it's going. So this bit is all facing that way, and that bit's all facing that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it and tie it in, hopefully this is enough, with this back bit here. So all the fibres are going to face one way, because otherwise I get to that bit and then it'll all end up in a big mess. So again, sort of loose turn over the top, catch it in, run the thread back towards the eye, and then pull it back and just allow the sort of yarn, Fritz, whatever you want to call it, to rotate, making sure to keep all the fibres going back in sort of one direction. Bit of moisture just to keep everything out of the way. So now get one more in there. It's quite tight, but obviously I'm going to trim the core away, bring it round to there, just tighten that vice up a bit so it's not spinning as bad. Try and keep, this is the other challenging bit with this, because there's so much bulk, trying to find a happy medium of catching it in and not trapping all the fibres. Right, so that'll do. So trim it away again, then hold the sort of thread with your finger and just pull, keep pulling all that away, and then there we've just exposed the core near the eye, and then we're just going in 1, 2, 3, do 4 because it's close to the eye, don't want it slipping off. Trim that excess, and then just pull it all back, just tidy it up, give yourself a bit of a head, and then just go in with the whip finish. So I'm just going to trim this foam now, sort of roughly in line with the back of the fly, and then I'm just going to put a snip in it and turn it over so I can roughly see where the hook is. And then that will just stop it spinning. That was perfectly in the middle, because what I'm going to do now, just to make it sort of sit a bit better, I'm going to get my brush and brush all the fibres and just brush them so they're all facing back a little bit. Just to give it a really neat sort of bit more of an egg shape. And then dab of varnish, and then that's it done. So again, this is a really good fly. Washing lining. Again, if the fish have had a lot of pressure, helps with your standard. Because it's a bit softer, they tend to take it a bit nicer, and also it's a bit more of a, even on stockies, fresh fish, it stays that colour, doesn't lose any of its colour in the water.
What was the brush you using there?
That is just a suede brush.
Oh, right.
I got some. So the F&F do a material called Daphne. Is it Daphne? Yeah, Daphne, which is it's like this, but really bushy. And basically, you only need to put about 4 turns on, then you have to brush it. It doesn't want to go back, so you spend ages brushing it. And they're like, "Oh, get a little Velcro brush." And then I was like, "Oh, I don't think I've got one." And then I found this out, and it's basically got wire bristles, so it lasts ages. This is my my trusty Midas brush.